You already know David. He's sitting in his car right now, somewhere between home and office, waiting for a red light to turn green. The sun warms his windshield. He doesn't notice because his jaw is clenched so tight it aches. His knuckles have gone white from gripping the steering wheel. 45 seconds of waiting has made him furious. Before leaving the driveway, he decided exactly what he'd tell his wife tonight. Traffic was impossible. The commute is ridiculous. I can't believe we bought a house so far from downtown. His wife will hear this complaint before his shoes come off. She's learned not to interrupt. 3 years ago, promotion and a 30% raise arrived. His wife celebrated by cooking his favorite meal and inviting his parents over. They toasted to his future and his success. Pride filled him for about 2 hours. By Thursday, he was complaining about everything his promotion required. The office became larger, but rent increased too. He now manages 8 people who don't follow his direction well. Hours grew longer. Stress started affecting his marriage. His wife used to laugh when he told her stories about work. Silence has replaced her laughter. She just nods now while he catalogs the failures of his department. Missed deadlines, miscommunications, inefficiencies that bother him more than anyone else. When did she stop laughing? On paper, his life shows abundance. A 3-bedroom house, a paid-off car, insurance coverage, a wife who chose him, parents who call to check in, friends who want to spend time with him, a functioning body, a clear mind, clean water flowing from his tap, reliable electricity powering his home, food stocked in his refrigerator. By almost every measure on planet Earth, abundance surrounds him. Yet something fundamental is broken inside him. He wakes before his feet touch the floor with shoulders already knotted. No gratitude arrives with dawn. No appreciation for breath or sleep or another day. Instead, dread about traffic floods his mind. Anger follows about weather he can't control. Anxiety comes next about emails waiting in his inbox. Frustration arrives last, focused on things not yet happened, on problems he hasn't experienced, on scenarios he invented in the dark. His brain hunts for problems like a metal detector hunts for copper. It excels at this work. Real problems appear quickly. Fake problems emerge from nowhere. Problems hiding inside other people's lives get dragged home. Problems masquerading as solutions get identified and rejected. Last week, his wife prepared his favorite meal, her signature pasta and golden garlic bread. He noticed immediately that carbs dominated the plate. He mentioned the grocery bill. He criticized how she'd stored the leftovers. Her shoulders dropped. Silence fell across their dinner table. She hasn't made that meal since. He walks through his home surrounded by blessing and sees none of it. His constant complaint became a cloud covering everything. It softens his voice when greeting his wife. It makes him snap at his team for small mistakes. It makes him miss sunlight crossing the kitchen table at dawn. It renders him immune to abundance. Everywhere he looks, problems materialize, sometimes real, often imagined, always taking up space where gratitude could live. Here's what troubles me about his story. He thinks this is normal. He thinks everyone wakes up swimming in frustration with reality. He thinks his complaining is just honesty. He thinks negativity is realism. He believes everyone starts their morning this way. They don't. Your brain can be rewired. Not just toward problems, toward blessing, toward gratitude, toward recognizing joy. The neural pathways you use most become highways. If complaint loops have run through your mind for years, those paths are now superhighways, worn smooth by repetition. Superhighways can be rebuilt though. Starting today, consider this. What if your complaint isn't honesty? What if it's blindness masquerading as wisdom? Could abundance already surround you, waiting for eyes trained to recognize it? Could everything shift starting now? In the next few minutes, your nervous system could begin rewiring. Your perception could expand to include blessing you've been trained to overlook. The abundance was always there. You simply forgot how to see it. Here's where scripture pierces reality. Paul writes to the Thessalonians, "Rejoice always. Pray without ceasing. In all circumstances give thanks." All circumstances, not just some. Not only the ones going well. In traffic, in disappointment, in frustration, in unfulfilled expectations, in the inconveniences designed specifically to interrupt your day. He means all of it. If you're David, this hits like an accusation. Paul isn't ignorant of suffering. He's been beaten, imprisoned, shipwrecked, and betrayed. He knows pain intimately. Yet his instruction remains. Rejoice and give thanks in all circumstances. Not for the traffic, Some situations don't deserve acknowledgement. But in the traffic, you can find one element worth recognizing. One blessing hiding inside the hardship. This distinction transforms perception. You can't give thanks for the delay, but you can give thanks for a car that runs, for fuel in the tank, for a position worth driving to, for someone waiting at home. The traffic doesn't deserve your appreciation. The resources inside the traffic situation do. Your brain has been trained to ignore blessings and focus on obstacles. Gratitude practice reverses this training. Later, Paul writes to the Philippians, "Do not be anxious about anything. In each situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Anxiety floods your mind when you focus on problems beyond your control. Traffic, weather, other people's behavior, market fluctuations, political chaos. We spend enormous energy fretting over circumstances we cannot change. Paul offers an alternative. Present your needs to God with thanksgiving. Not after you get what you want. Not once circumstances improve. Right now, in the middle of frustration, bring appreciation alongside your petition. Your mind begins to reset when you consciously pair requests with thanks. Think about how your body operates. Your brain wakes up in threat mode. Problems scan constantly. Every new input gets evaluated for danger. Over years, this becomes your baseline. Always preparing for attack, always braced for disappointment. Anxiety becomes your native condition because your brain learned that threat awareness keeps you protected. Gratitude disrupts this entire apparatus. When your brain pauses to recognize blessing, it shifts out of threat mode. Your body registers protection. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing deepens. Your mind begins to recalibrate. You're still aware of problems. You're still capable of responding. But now you also see resources, support, and gifts already present. Finally, Paul writes to the Colossians, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, giving thanks to God the Father for all circumstances in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ." Peace ruling means appreciation is running the government inside you. Not anxiety, not complaint, not the constant internal litigation cataloging what went wrong. Peace presiding means you've chosen to let thanksgiving be your default setting. David's wife is caught in a difficult position. His complaint-filled perspective has become the atmosphere of their home. She walks into grievance. She listens to resentment. She becomes the audience for his problems. Over months, her own brain begins synchronizing with his. If she's around complaint long enough, her body starts producing stress hormones in response. His anxiety becomes contagious. But here's the liberating truth. Appreciation is also contagious. When one person consciously practices thanksgiving, their mind shifts into calm. That protection radiates outward. Others around them begin mirroring the shift. The wife notices her husband's shoulders drop. She hears a different tone entering his voice. She feels safer. Together, they begin creating a different atmosphere. Peace starts ruling. Paul isn't suggesting we ignore real problems. He's suggesting we stop only seeing problems. He's teaching us to deliberately expand our perception to include the gifts already present, the support network already in place, the resources we can access, the one small blessing hiding inside the difficulty. This is what neural rewiring orients toward. Not denial of hardship, but balanced awareness. Not toxic positivity that pretends life is wonderful, but honest appreciation that acknowledges. In the middle of this problem, I also possess a body that moves, a mind that processes, people who care, paths ahead, lessons available, grace for today. Start there. Your practice starts today, not tomorrow when you're in a better mood, not next Monday with fresh energy, not someday when circumstances improve. Today, right now. The next 60 seconds will determine whether you leave here with intellectual knowledge or lived transformation. Hundreds have taken the challenge. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Identify and name 5 specific blessings today, and again tomorrow, and the day after, for 21 days straight. Asterisk, asterisk. Not abstract ones like, I'm grateful for health. Specificity is essential. Your left knee that bends. The coffee mug warming your hands. A friend's message. The paycheck deposited. The sunrise. Your child's laughter. Your breath moving in and out. Specificity matters profoundly. When people get specific, their brains catalogs details much more powerfully than vague ones. Naming your left knee engages different neural regions than naming my body. You're creating vivid sensory memories. You're building actual neurological pathways, not just having grateful thoughts. Genuine rewiring happens at the deepest level. 5 daily, 21 days minimum. Why 21? Neural pathways establish in roughly that time frame. Gratitude stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like truth by then. The shift becomes genuine. Most people report remarkable consistency in results. Day 4. A crisis hits. Your boss criticizes your department. Your partner is frustrated. Traffic was impossible. You want to surrender to complaint. Every nerve screams for it. But you pause. I have a desk. I have a partner worth fighting for. I have fuel. 5 blessings extracted from chaos. They feel forced. Absolutely forced, like denying real obstacles exist. Do it anyway. This is the work. The old pathways are faster and more familiar. Gratitude might feel like lying initially. You're not. You're rebalancing perception. Resistance is normal. Expected, even. Around day 9, the breakthrough arrives for most people. Your brain stops fighting the work. You start noticing without searching. You walk outside and actually see the trees. You taste your lunch instead of eating it mechanically. You hear your coworkers' actual words instead of filtering everything through complaint. Day 14. Deeper shifts occur. You feel it, not just think it. Shoulders less tense. Sleep deeper. Patience with frustrations increased. Your loved one smiles at something you say, and you actually see their smile instead of being absorbed in your next complaint. By day 21, naming blessings has become automatic. But don't stop there. Many complete 21 days and then abandon the work, only to feel old patterns creeping back. This isn't a 30-day challenge you complete and forget. This is rewiring your nervous foundation. Gratitude is a lifelong practice, not a temporary project. After 21 days, shift your approach. Maybe it becomes a morning ritual, 5 blessings before your feet touch the floor. Or evening reflection, 5 gifts received that day. I keep a gratitude journal. Committing to paper deepens the pathway. Others share their observations with partners or close friends. Speaking gratitude aloud creates additional layers. Others post daily blessings on mirrors or car dashboards, visible reminders that rewire through repetition. Find your version. Consistency is non-negotiable. You can't generate 21 days of intensity and expect rewiring to hold without maintenance. Roads require regular use to stay passable. Neural pathways respond identically. Genuine transformation awaits. Complaint patterns completely restructure through deliberate practice. Not perfectly, no? Still occasionally frustrated or tired. But genuinely with the people you love, not preoccupied with complaints. You'll start planning together, dreaming together. Gratitude opens the space for others' voices again. Relationships heal. 21 days. That's all you need. Identify 5 specific blessings daily. No judgment when practice feels forced. No expectation that gratitude should feel natural immediately. Just show up. Do the work. Say blessings aloud. Write them down. Feel them move from your head into your nervous foundation. Your brain is trainable. Complaint is just a habit. Well-worn, yes, but still a habit. Habits rewire. Starting today, set a phone reminder if you need to. Tell a trusted friend or family member so they can check in on day 7. Build accountability into your structure. Share your observations with people you care about. Make it harder to skip than to show up. On the days when you want to quit, when the work feels pointless, when complaints scream louder, show up anyway. Your transformation isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for your decision. The abundance you need is already here. You've been surrounded by it your entire life. You just need to remember how to see it. Choose your 5 today. Here's what happens when you actually change. This transformation occurs repeatedly across lives. Your nervous framework has been running on complaint for so long it feels like objective reality. But truth and habit aren't the same. You've been feeding neural pathways that hunt for problems. Like pathways worn smooth by repetition, they feel natural. They feel honest. They feel like your actual world. The good news I've discovered? A new pathway begins forming immediately. You create a new neural pathway each time you deliberately choose a different response. Don't expect it to feel true at first. Your brain will resist. The old pathways are faster and more familiar. Gratitude might feel like denial initially, like you're pretending obstacles don't exist. But you're not lying. You're rebalancing. Let me show you how neural rewiring unfolds, documented across hundreds of transformation cases. Monday morning, your car. You consciously pause before resentment arrives. Hands grip the wheel. Traffic surrounds you. Instead of complaint, you pause and name 3 resources. I have a car functioning properly. I have fuel in the tank. I have employment waiting. Absolutely ordinary observations. Absolutely grounded in current reality. Just deliberate acknowledgement of resources alongside frustration. Your shoulders relax slightly. Your breathing changes. These physiological shifts appear consistently. The first few days feel clumsy. Your brain keeps reaching for complaint, like a hand searching for a light switch in darkness. You catch yourself. Mid-thought. By week 3 shift. The pathway reinforces through repetition. Gratitude requires less conscious effort. Your nervous framework doesn't activate threat mode quite as aggressively when traffic arrives. Remarkably consistent. Across all cases. By week 6, capacity expands. You call your best friend. She shares her new opportunity. You listen rather than rehearse your grievances. Arrival home brings mental clarity. You're genuinely interested in your family's day instead of dominating the conversation with complaints. This opening, it occurs when complaint stops hijacking your attention. Witnessed repeatedly. Your loved one notices. Recognition dawns. Genuine neurological rewiring is occurring. Your prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking and planning, has been hijacked by amygdala, your alarm apparatus. Chronic complaint keeps firing your amygdala relentlessly. Gratitude practice gradually restores prefrontal authority. You can think. You can plan. You can imagine solutions. No more just cataloging obstacles. Your elevated stress hormones begin normalizing. Cortisol and adrenaline that have been your baseline start decreasing. Your body feels less rigid. Sleep improves. Digestion improves. Your immune framework, which has been compromised by chronic stress, strengthens. Lab work transforms through deliberate practice. Measurable physiological change documents in blood work and inflammatory panels. But here's what really shifts: your relational capacity. When mental energy hunts for problems, nothing remains for the people you love. Attention locked on all that's wrong. You can't see them, only obstacles. Gratitude practice opens your perceptual aperture. You notice your partner rises early despite poor sleep. They carry stress about professional challenges. You recognize their sacrifice. Dozens report the moment, suddenly seeing their loved one again. By week 8, the admission arrives. I know I've been difficult. I've been complaining constantly. I'm trying to change. I want to be different for us. They cry, not because you're suddenly perfect, but because you've finally seen them. Drowning in your negativity for so long, your acknowledgement becomes its own benediction. Reconnection unfolds. Week 9, a meal prepared. You taste it, really taste it. You look up and say with genuine gratitude, "Thank you for this." They smile. That singular moment, when connection truly returns, marks the fundamental shift. Gratitude practice restores capacity for genuine relational communion. You still see traffic. You still identify obstacles requiring attention. You still notice patterns needing correction. But you also see the gift your loved ones represent. You see possibilities your role provides. You recognize your own capability. People reclaim their humanity through deliberate rewiring. The neurological research supports these observations. People who practice deliberate gratitude show increased activity in the prefrontal cortex. They show decreased inflammatory markers. They have better sleep quality, stronger immune responses, and improved cardiovascular health. They recover faster from illness. They make better financial decisions. Science confirms what years of observation have demonstrated. But the real change is subtler and more profound. You get your life back. Not because obstacles disappear. Traffic continues. Work frustrates. People disappoint. But you'll move through it all without being imprisoned. You handle difficulty from resource awareness instead of scarcity terror. Transformation works. I know because I've lived it. Gratitude produces exactly this reclamation.